so she can't be there. Yeah, so she's the best.
So it's 7. Should we
Yes,
call the
let's.
meeting to order?
Yeah, you want to start recording?
It's already recording.
Perfect, okay.
Great. Any public here today to be heard?
You may reach out?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have the minutes from last month. I did notice there was a few things that didn't quite reflect what I remembered, really minor.
That's fine. Yeah, let's go over it now so we can make changes and then we can take a vote to adopt as amended and Amy will fix them up.
Okay.
So if you want to point those specific places out, that would be great.
It seems silly to say this, but it called the meeting to order. It has Catherine, Cassie, and I believe I called the meeting
Okay.
to order. And then I'm not sure, like, in terms of motions and seconds, that happened at adjournment and that wasn't captured.
Okay.
On the meeting.
So we can, all right, so we can capture that. We can look at the video and see who. So when they make a motion, we have to list who makes a motion and who seconds it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's in, so we'll correct that.
Super.
No, that's fine, that's fine. We want to get it right. So with those amendments that we add those 2 pieces, anything else about the December minutes?
Motion, can we have to?
Yeah, we got to accept them by a motion.
Okay. Would you like to move to accept the minutes with the edits?
I'll motion to accept.
Great, second.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Raise your hands. Okay, you 2 abstain because you weren't here. All right, so Cassie, she rose her hands. Perfect, thank you.
And that was the December ones, right?
Yes, those are December ones. So you just have to, we just need to go back into the video. So right here, we just have to go back in the video and see who motioned to adjourn. And write that in, and then we have to make sure that it was Kim that started. It is the chair. This is your last chair meeting. The chair started the meeting. Okay, so before we move forward, I'm gonna change up the. I do want to, because I need to get the May 23rd meeting. So if you have the May 23rd meeting, I think. That Amy made a copy for everybody. If you were there, make sure your name is there. If you were not there, oh, Martha's trying to get in but can't find the link. Can you send her the link? Yeah. I think I captured everybody that was there, but what was weird, and you can go online to our YouTube page and see the meeting. It didn't capture everybody in the frame. So that was weird, that it didn't capture everybody in the frame. And so I heard I watched the meeting, like I said, it's only 39 minutes. And I heard voices, oh, if I heard your voice, I put you in the meeting. So, but if you remember being there, Cassie, and I don't have your name on there, if you remember being there, tell us now so we can edit it and we can get it signed with the edits.
I think you're muted. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I was there, but let me look at continue and I'll look at my calendar and see if it gives me any help.
That's really the only, like I said, the actual motion and all that stuff I captured, and it was only one motion at the end. So you can read the motion that was stated. But everything else it's really about ensuring that I have who was actually there. So if you were there and I don't have your name on there, let me know and so we can get this signed. We can get it signed or approved, and only the ones that were there can vote.
5, business north.
If we were where, I'm sorry, I just now got on.
Great time, Martha. Were you at you remember? So it was my fault, but I forgot to get the May 23rd special meeting minutes signed. And so I'm trying to make sure who was there. I have the video, but the video didn't show all the faces. But if I heard your voice, I said that you were there. Do you remember if you were there, Martha? Or Cassie?
I wasn't there, actually, the special
Okay.
meeting, I wasn't.
Okay,
I was there.
yes. your name-
The special meeting, is that where we made changes to some
What was
kind
that?
of something?
We decided not to make any changes. That's what came
Oh.
out of that meeting.
Then I probably wasn't there.
Then I think this is correct. And except for, no, I have to say, okay, I have to update, I gotta update members absent and add Catherine and Martha. Okay, I can do that.
Was Michael also on the board at that time?
Yeah, Michael didn't show up to that one.
So he'd be absent as well.
Yeah, I'll add that too. Okay,
All right.
so with those edits, can we, for those that were there, so Cassie and Martha know, Crystal, Robert, Jeffrey, and Kim were there. Can we get a motion to accept the May 23rd minutes?
I move we accept May minutes.
Okay,
I second.
second, okay,
Favor
All
that
right.
were there?
that were there. Okay, perfect. All right, so we just got to capture that those, that May 23rd minutes were approved with the edits of adding absent members, and I'll do that.
Okay.
And I'll tell Michelle that I'm gonna send out the electronic version, or you will, I don't know how to do DocuSign.
Yeah, I'll look here.
Okay, all right, we'll get that sent to you.
Okay, perfect.
All right, no, that was the only thing. So let's go into welcome and let's do some official get to know you. So how do we want to do this, Chair? How do we want to do the introduction?
Should we go around the room and just share our names, kind of what we bring to the table
Yeah,
and how long we've been a part of the board, and
yeah, sounds
that'd
good.
be helpful to know. Crystal, you
No.
start.
I was like, you know, but Jack, I was like, I bring fair life to the table today. My name is Crystal Prieto. I have been a part of the board for 2 years now, I believe, maybe longer, I don't know. I think this was my second human service funding round. So I'm a family development specialist. I work with the Emergency Family Assistance Association and providing safety net resources and helping families to establish stronger protective factors. And so I do a lot of community work in all aspects, have a human service degree. And this obviously, I mean, I'm in this work because it's a passion of mine. So it's a pleasure to meet you. Bless you. And Amy. Oh, I met you, but I never really.
Thank
And then I'll just popcorn it to my left.
Thank you. Evening, everyone. So I'm Christy Wiseman. I'm the Housing Community Investment Manager. So as you'll see with our work plan tonight, and as you go through meetings, this board addresses human services topics as well as our housing investment. So I'm kind of the staff equivalent on the HCI side, and just I'm a very structural person. So Alberto is under the Human Services Department, and Christina is the director. So Alberto reports to Christina. And then on the housing side, Molly O'Donnell is our housing director, and I report to Molly. So we're kind of the two halves of your work area, if that helps. And then I just asked my staff to pop on just to hear tonight's meeting and to get to see your faces. So we have 3 of the 4 HCI staff, and if they're wanting to be on camera, I'll let them introduce themselves really quickly. Do you want to start, Larissa? You look eager.
Oh, I love to talk. Of course, I will start. I'll jump right in. My name is Larissa Mick, and I'm the grant accountant for HCI, and I'm just happy to be a part of this group right now.
Thank you, Larissa. So Larissa keeps our money flowing in and flowing out, which is a big part of what we do. And she joined us in September. So she's relatively new. She came from Wyoming, but we're very happy to have her. Katie or Alexis, are you on?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Alexis. I am the HCI program specialist. And what that means is that I mostly handle our federal programming. So that's our CDBG and our home funding. That usually looks like housing rehabilitation. So really happy to be here and happy to listen in. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. Sorry,
Hi,
but you
everyone.
got,
It's all good. My name is Katie Silvis. I'm the homeownership program specialist with the city. So I focus on all of our homeownership programs. Right now, that is down payment assistance. And then you guys will be hearing from us quite a bit over the next year as we start the True North project. And I'm not happy to be here. Welcome, everyone.
thank you. And then also the fourth person rounding out the HCI team is Kayleen Whaley, and she handles our inclusionary housing program, which I'm sure you guys will learn more about. It's a complicated program, and she really is our kind of liaison with the planning and building department on all of the new development that's happening in the city, any code updates, kind of more of that regulatory piece and policy piece. So yeah, that's the HCI team, and I'll stop it for there, but wanted to introduce myself in person, and thank you for volunteering your time to be on the board. For the update.
Do you want to do our online folks, or let's let our online folks, and then we'll do the rest of their insight. Cassie, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Cassie Lau, and I've been with this organization for a full year. My background is in finance, both on Wall Street, literally, and teaching finance. And yeah, I love working with this group.
Awesome.
Hi.
Martha? Martha?
Hi.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Martha Wilson here. I am a therapist and I help to represent parents with open child welfare cases. I've been with the board 2 years, and I can't remember if there was anything else that I was supposed to offer up.
You got it.
You got it, Martha. Robert?
Rob Putnam, I'm on my second stint on this appeals board. Before this, I did 2 stints with Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Advisory Board. I'm an editorial cartoonist for about 60 newspapers in the West. And I think what I can bring to this board is a knowledge of what 60 other cities have tried to do in terms of housing, worker housing, affordable housing, and things, homelessness and so on. And that's what I can do. I've lived in Longmont. I lived in Boulder for about 20 years and moved to Longmont about 10 years ago.
Thank you.
Hey, my name is Jeffrey Boring. I've been on the advisory board for a year now, so just started today. And in my day job, I'm an executive director of a small nonprofit organization up in Estes Park. It's a conservation organization, so we spend a lot of time conserving land, which can make it more challenging to build affordable housing. Yeah. And so, the big vision is to balance those 2 things. And so this gives me an opportunity to learn more about housing in our community. I've been in Longmont for about 20 years.
Mark Tisler, I've been, an hour and a half. Newly elected by the council. A lot of you I saw in the interview process. Small business owner, insurance and financial planning, retired military. We've been in Longmont about 1.5 years now. So yeah, excited to be a part of this board.
I'm Kim Stringa. I'm concluding my 3rd year on the board. I'm a public health nurse, and I focus mainly on early childhood development.
I'm Katie Torres, and I just stepped back from my role of 15 years running the Montessori Charter School, which I founded with a grassroots organization in St. Vrain. And so that was a really intense focus for a very long period of time. And now I'm kind of looking up. Prior to that, I've been in Longmont just about 20 years. And when I first came, I was on the museum board, but all of my, are you guys hearing something?
I think airport, or the airport board is getting out.
Oh, got it. I got distracted from, after I served 2 terms on the museum board, I founded the school, and then that was just 100% of my time. So I have a background in education, early childhood, and prior to coming to Longmont, I spent about 20 years in private sector business, so I have a pretty broad generalist kind of C-suite experience in that environment. So both in big companies and also in entrepreneurial ventures. So I kind of am a generalist. I would describe myself as a generalist, most recently with a specialty in education and all of the things that surround education.
All right, Amy?
Sorry, I was just taking notes. I'm an admin assistant here at City Manager's office. I also help out at LHAAB a lot. So anything that you guys need, you guys can email me. Thanks.
Anything.
I'll try.
She did tell us earlier today she has a good Tracelicious hookup.
Oh, let it be a secret. Maybe not that.
So I'm Alberto Mendoza. I've been in Longmont since 2007, working in nonprofit, county government, and I've been with the city. This is going to be my 7th year with the city. What's interesting is, like I always tell folks, I applied to this funding for a good 7, 8 years. And so I went before this board and was interviewed the same way that you interview other nonprofits. So I've been on both sides. I filled out our application and now I help manage the application process. So I've done both sides of this. And I think, my role is really to support this board. As an advisory board, you give me a lot of direction on different things that we're working on, and particularly human services funding. This year is going to be a very interesting year because I think, we've had lots of conversation as a board and we just cannot continue going as we are. So currently, as I'm talking to you, Christina and I already have a meeting for next week to look at other options. And they're going to be difficult options. There's not going to be any easy answers at this point. We heard from Harold in December about our financial situation as a city. And I can already tell you that from the federal side, they don't have a budget. So, that's going to be interesting as well for our federal programs and all our nonprofits that also rely on federal dollars. It's going to be quite interesting year. And so I'll be bringing back to you all stuff, just options to think about, but we're going to have to be making some hard decisions as a board. I mean, you make hard decisions every year, let's be honest. I think this year might be just a little bit harder than they have been in the past. So, but yeah, that's my role. I support you all. I support Christina. I do a lot of work with our nonprofits. I do all of our site visits, which we'll talk about in February. Yeah, all right.
Do you have any questions about kind of like staff structure, or do you feel like you have an okay understanding just from that short intro?
Yeah, I think I have a good understanding.
Not on that last point, maybe the punchline. Sounds like that.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I did make a face related to our HUD funding. We won't find out how that's affected for a few months. We generally find out May-ish what our annual HUD funding will be. So we'll be waiting on bated breath to see what happens in DC.
Are there any staff positions that are at risk because of the federal delay?
No, not at risk. We do use a portion of our annual grant allocation to fund staff, but nothing fully covers staff positions. So we always are supplementing with local funds. In our team's case, the Affordable Housing Fund kind of fills that gap. So any reductions in our HUD funding, the Affordable Housing Fund will just cover the rest. And we'll get into all the fun spreadsheets of our various funding sources a little bit later in the year during our funding process. But yeah, we're not at risk of losing any staff positions, certainly. So
When it sounds like, based off of our last conversation with the city manager, he does a really good job at maintaining the budget and forward looking and seeing kind of budget anticipations or any changes in the budget and how that could impact the city.
Yeah, what it would affect if we get a significantly lower, like CDBG allocation, for example, we would just have fewer dollars to put out into the community for a competitive award for this year. So, but I don't want to.
Well, no, but that's a great leeway into our next subject, which is the annual work plan.
Yeah.
We're not voting on it tonight. We never voted on January. If we can get it done by February, we vote on February, but we do want to share with you. Christie's made some changes recently. I still need to go back and make more changes. So I'm going to bring it up here. Administration. Files. Work plan. Actually, you just made changes 6 hours ago. Okay, I don't know if I've seen that.
I think it was when we were on Teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have, so it's still in draft form, right? It's still, we're tracking changes.
Yeah.
So usually Januaries are pretty light. We just, we welcome new members and get officers elected, and we look at this document. And then we start getting busier as the year goes by. So February, we're looking at the work plan draft. Hopefully I also added it to March, but I'm hoping that we can finalize in February. That would be great. I just want to give myself some time. You're going to be bringing the housing incentive review, Christy, in February. And there's a lot of site visits in 2025. I was telling, we funded 6 new agencies. And so the way our site visit process works is if you're a new agency, you get a site visit. So there's 6 new agencies, plus the ones that I'm making sure they got the right ones for their 3-year cycle. So I'll bring that in February, finalize to say, here's the process, and invite those that want to come. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. Not sure if Christina want to add anything else to February, and then we hit the busy time, right?
March will be very busy. Yeah.
March is going to be busy. We have the CBDG, the CAFR report, report on inclusionary programming. DPA means down payment assistance program update, and we're also going to potentially release. Wait, you're not releasing any?
Generally, open it at the very end. So the 2020. Oh.
Yeah.
This is why this is a draft.
Yeah.
So that is our annual HCI funding cycle. So Human Services has a funding cycle that's generally in the second half of the year. Ours is in the first half of the year. And we generally open the application in late March, and then it's open throughout April. So we give folks the better part of a month to actually submit, and then we start reviewing those, and we'll come back in May and June with our presentations.
All right, so then I want to do the board retreat.
Sorry, are
in
you
March.
sharing your screen?
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I should have made my way in, but
No,
I
no
didn't
worries.
make it.
Hold on, no worries. I will share.
Thank you.
How do I share? Share. There we go. Work plan. Here we go. I'm sorry, Martha and Cassie. Here you go. Can you all see it?
Beautiful. Yes, thank you.
So I was going to have the board retreat in March. That probably won't happen just because of the busyness, and because part of the board retreat, I really want to have the finalized human services needs assessment. And we reached out to Root Policy. We met with them in November. They think they can get it done late March, early April. So I'm pushing back the board retreat until April because I really want to present that to you all in a completed form. So that's why I removed it from March. Again, it's still in draft. Things may change. If they get done earlier, that would be great. So we'll see.
And can I just ask, is the retreat set?
It's gonna be a separate meeting, and we'll figure that out. There'll probably be a meeting where we provide a meal, whether we meet, whether we meet either an evening or a Saturday morning for a few hours, kind of the same way the council has their retreat, kind of that model. So we're looking at that. Question?
Yeah, but let me find my information and then
Sure.
I'll ask.
So, and at that time, I also want to talk to you all about, you know, that retreat will also be about figuring out what we do with human service, like what, you know, how do we want to change that? I have a couple of options I'm already drafting that I'll probably bring to you in February, if not March, and to really hammer it out in April before we launch.
Question. I saw that the satisfaction survey was released. How does that differ from the needs assessment? Like,
So the satisfaction survey, yes, is that the city satisfaction survey, great question, is really, it covers a lot more than what the human services needs. Because it really looks at like, it asks questions about the parks, are the parks satisfactory, is Nest Light satisfactory? It goes the full gambit. Because it's looking at all city services, not just human services. So trash, water, all of everything. So it's a much broader survey. And they do that every year, but it's not a human services needs assessment. It's not about satisfaction with human, it's about, are parks good? Is our water service good? Is our trash service, you know, how are you satisfied with the city services?
And Root is surveying Boulder County. So is this all Boulder County needs, or just, are they gonna do it separate?
They're working with all of Boulder County, but they are going to separate the data out by city. So we'll be able to see data for Longmont. And so the human services needs assessment is part of, we're updating our consolidated plan. So our consolidated plan is a 5-year plan that we have to do for HUD for our federal funding. And as part of our 5-year update, we're doing this human services needs assessment as kind of an add-on to just go above and beyond the HUD requirements of data and surveying the community, doing focus groups, all that specific for human services.
Okay.
And so that is kind of tacked on to the consolidated plan. And Root is our consultant for that. So it includes all of Boulder County, but they will break it out by city in the report.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the difference.
Okay. Yeah, it was like.
There's a lot of surveys, because also HSBC, Homeless Solutions just did a survey too, so there's a lot of surveys.
Yeah, I also want to present that to the board.
Okay.
But that'll be sooner. That might go on our February meeting, because we should have a final report that's presented to the executive HSBC, Homeless Solutions Boulder County soon. So.
Do you want me to add that to this draft agenda?
Yeah, we can add that for February. I should have that. It's a very interesting, I've seen the draft, very interesting stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be good. April right now is pretty quiet. It depends on what happens at the board retreat. We'll see.
Is this our first board retreat?
This is the first time this group.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't remember any retreats.
No, because of the, no, we've never done one, but because of the reality of what we're, you know, financially facing as a city, we need to go to council. And we need to have a conversation with council. We want to have that conversation first. Or have it with council and then bring it to you, one way or the other. We got to have that conversation.
So you're taking us on a cruise, right?
Yeah, I wish. I will give, if we decide to do a morning, I'll give you breakfast. If we want to do a lunch, I'll give you lunch. If you want to do a dinner, I'll give you dinner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, whatever, we'll do that.
Choose one.
Choose one, morning, lunch.
But you don't get nothing to drink. Just like,
And of course, May is when you guys hear the presentation. That takes up the whole meeting. So can't put a lot in May.
It's kind of HCI's big show of our funding. And we will have the applicants come and.
Yeah, so we probably will remove these two things depending on how many applicants. And we'll just move them to over here. I always do a logic model outcome training. I'm not sure how many of you are into logic models and outcomes, but I do that training because that's a huge part of your review of the applications. One of the main things that when you review applications, you're reviewing agencies' outcomes. And I can tell you how important this is right now. I am working individually with every agency that we funded. A few of them have given me really great outcomes. Some of them have not. And so I'm working with them to strengthen their outcomes and strengthen their outcome statements. So we will be doing that training in June probably. And then in July, we're gonna have, this was this year. I don't know if we did an affordable housing training. I'm not sure if we're gonna do it again.
Was that with the state?
Yeah, that's when the state came by and did a training. That was actually pretty pretty interesting stuff. And then August and September, so August, September, October, we may not have meetings unless we have to, because you are in the midst of the hearings. We did 8 hearings since starting. I think we started August 31st and we got done October 30th. So we'll see. We always play those months by ear because you guys are under the gun. I am bugging you to get your scores in. This year I hope to make it a little bit easier because I'm going to give you all spreadsheets instead of making you do it on the Founded. And no, we need a Founded training on there too. Okay.
What month do you want to?
Let's do Founded training in July. Yeah. So I got to train the new board members on how to get onto Founded, how to use it. So yes, let's do that in July. And then October is our big meeting, which isn't really that big of a meeting because you've done all the work already. It's just really voting yay or nay on the recommendations. And I give you all options and you all vote on the options. But you've already done all your work. You put in all the hard work between the end of August and the end of October.
Maybe you would want to put in as well the new spreadsheet process that you're gonna have us do.
Yes.
In there as well.
Yeah, we'll do that at the same time that we're doing Founded. We'll do it concurrently. Yeah, so that will be a night of training, just kind of so you can see. I know many of you already done the Founded piece, but it was just so difficult to transpose, to change, to transcribe all those numbers. I want to make it easy on myself by giving you all those spreadsheets. If it was, I wish I would, as I am not, as our City of Boulder folks are great at Founded. I don't have the time to learn Founded as much as they have the time to learn Founded. They do amazing things with that software that I can't do.
Like us with Neighborly. You're dealing with Founded, we're dealing with Neighborly. That's our grant management software. And I'm like, I don't have the time to learn how to get better at it.
Yeah. Our Boulder folks are great. They're really good at it, but there's 3 of them for me.
Yes.
So
It's usually 3 of every position they have, and they outnumber us. 3 to 1.
And then of course we have in December, we have our voting in November, and then December we do, and I love the idea of I'm gonna try and get city manager again on December. That was a really good conference.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he came and really talked to the board about the funding, like the budget process and how it works. Our just so you all know, our budget process for 2026 starts next month. We started in February, we start doing our budget for 2026.
So would it make sense to have the city manager come sooner before we start doing the human service interview?
Yeah.
To discuss the budget and outlook and.
Would you like that? Would you like to?
May, June, Harold mentioned that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's add it to May or June.
Instead of October.
Yeah, let's add him to see if we can get a May or June to come. Well, not May, because that's when you guys are doing your, so let's say June, because you're doing your hearings in May.
And we'll already have our numbers.
Yeah.
Because our numbers are set earlier, because they're not as relying on the general fund percentage.
Yeah. So we'll bring him in June. We don't usually know, just so you know, we don't typically I don't get to see how much we have for the human services set aside where we get our grant until typically end of July, early August. Because they're really in the heat of it in June and July, getting all the budget presentations done. So yeah, let's move that to that. So then December is just going to be, we do a review of how the process went. Year round, I'm always doing desk audits and site visits, and you guys are always in February. I'll give you all my schedule, and you're always invited to come. If not, that's okay. I just do them, and I got a new system that I'm going to try to hopefully make me more efficient. So
yeah, I would like, if possible, just in advance, like which ones during the month and the times and days.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because it's hard to keep up with the email, and then I'm like, I missed it. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll try and be more efficient with that, more effective with that. And that's it for now. That's the work plan. Anything else you want us to add or think about adding? It's a busy work plan, but And if you don't have anything right now, feel free to email me or Christy about, hey, what about this idea or that?
I like the fact that we're gonna meet with council. Right?
Well, not we.
Me, no,
You can go.
I'll go. Why not?
You're more than welcome to come. We'll let you know when you
Okay,
send it.
maybe I'll be sitting on council, who knows?
Maybe you'll be sitting on, who knows? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. So yeah, we'll send you an updated in the February meeting. And if we can vote on February, great. If we need to still have more time, then we'll finalize it in March, but we're gonna try and get it done by the February meeting. All right. Okay,
The next on the agenda is election of officers for 2025.
yes, we need a new vice chair and a chair, because, actually, I went over the bylaws with them. You can do it one more year if you want.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. I vote, I'm ready to pass the torch.
All right, that's fine.
And I'd like to nominate Crystal.
Oh, man, I was hoping you would. For
Chair.
chair? All right, I'm moving up in the world.
Go.
Does anybody else want to be chair? Anyone? No? Okay.
Nice.
So do we have to make a?
We need a motion for the chair.
So did I give?
You can motion, yeah.
Okay. Motion Crystal as chair.
Second.
All right, so
All in.
she motioned it, he second, we keep that, and then all in favor, raise your hand or say aye. All right, Catherine, okay, welcome, you're the new chair.
I second myself.
All right, now we need a vice chair.
Can I also nominate? I'm kind of pushy here.
I'll volunteer.
You want to be vice chair again?
Yeah.
But you want to nominate somebody?
I was gonna nominate Martha,
Or we could, yeah,
but I also want to respect the fact that you'd like to run again too.
it's up to you all. Martha, you okay with,
Rock, paper, scissors. Or rock, paper, scissors.
Martha, do you want to be vice chair or you're okay with
Hey.
Robert taking-
I am fine to be Crystal's Robin to her Batman.
Robert, are you okay if Martha, well, or do you want to do a hold the vote? Robert,
Yeah.
are you okay if Martha becomes the vice chair?
I have no problem.
Perfect, all right, so we have a motion for Martha,
I have a Robin.
all right,
I second it.
and Robert seconds, all right, all in favor? All right, so welcome our new chair and vice chair. Hey, one thing we did that we need to decide, that's not I just realized, we do it every year, but I wanted to be part of the minutes, is we need to vote to say where we're gonna put these agendas, and it's on our, what's it called?
City
I see
meeting
that.
management portal.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
Yes, we need to vote to, that's where we want to put it. Is that okay with the board? And then we always put a secondary one on the west door. In paper we put it, but our primary position is going to be the Gov portal.
okay.
It's called the city's agenda management portal.
Okay.
It's the official
You
term.
can vote on that.
We need to have a motion for that.
Do we have a motion to post the minutes on the city agenda management portal?
So moved.
Okay, and I second.
Okay,
All in favor, raise your hand.
all right, thank you. That's kind of, we just gotta put it, we have to make official where we're gonna put it for the state open
And all
records.
the minutes go there, right?
All the
Like
minutes,
boards?
yes, all the minutes from all the boards are there. That's where everybody puts it.
Okay.
Cassie, oh, you're voting. Thank you. All right.
I think that's on the Longmont website, right?
I think you sent it to us.
If not, we can. I can.
You sent me a link and I opened it and I was like,
So many.
I don't see our, I don't see our.
There's so many, well, yeah, because all the boards are on
You
there.
just sort by this board, because yeah, all the city boards.
Yes, I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Just a link would be great.
All right.
I want Simon. City website.
And I don't have any other pieces.
I wanted to give Jeffrey an opportunity. I know that there's probably some changes coming ahead, but I thought that you had a really great idea that you shared with Alberto and I, and if you wanted to talk about,
Yeah, remind me, because I got a lot of stuff on my head.
if this is the venue that you wanted to.
Well, it sounds like it's coming. It was just about, I thought a little bit more about last meeting when we debriefed the
Oh, yeah.
process we went through. And It seemed like the staff was interested in maybe fewer hearings.
Oh, yeah, that's all coming. Yeah, no, I have
Yeah.
two solid options that I'm gonna bring to you. Both are very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm having those conversations with Christina to really be thoughtful about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of that is coming.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the options, would you be able to send us an email of what those are so we can
way
kind of
before,
reflect
way before.
before we vote?
Yeah, way
Okay.
before. I will send it. It'll be probably during the retreat or before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I will definitely, I just need to get them. I gotta get them written out. Well, I have them on my whiteboard, but I need to get them more thought out. So, yeah, and it will be stuff like, I can give you a preview, like it is, so every year we choose priority areas and we create based on those priority areas, percentage of how much we allocate to each, but we never follow them. Well, what if we said, this year we're gonna follow them and we're gonna make it more like an RFP process to say, we have, let's say, out of a $1.5 million budget, 25% is going to housing. And say, agencies are doing housing, you need to apply to cover this 25% of 1.5. So that's all that we're gonna put into it. And the problem is that many times, like for example, education gets more than
Yeah.
and so we would tell again, sorry, you're only getting this percentage and that's all you can apply up to.
Yeah.
So that's one option that I'm thinking through. Another one I'm thinking through is, to your earlier point about, do we say we're gonna define what basic needs are, and we're only gonna fund basic needs, right? That could be food security, that could be whatever we decide, and then other stuff we're not gonna fund. That
And
doesn't,
we can use the need assessment.
Right,
and
so those-
everything
yes.
else to kind of.
So those-
turn into-
That's what I have, the needs assessment data, I think at the retreat will be really
right,
beneficial.
yeah, so those are the things I'm thinking through, Jeffrey, right now,
Yeah.
and I wanna create another option, I'm thinking through that as well.
Are those percentages you mentioned that
You vote on,
we vote on those.
yeah,
So we can shift those around if we want
we
to.
can shift those around, like, based on the human services needs assessment. So a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of
Great.
stuff coming up, but again, they're not gonna be easy, because, one of the things that actually the agencies came up with that we're also gonna talk about was doing these 3-year cycles, where let's say we're just only gonna fund housing stability. So also, and we're gonna fund housing stability and safety and justice, and that's the only applications, and we're gonna ask the agents to give us a 3-year budget, and we're gonna fund it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And they can't apply until the 3rd year.
Until they're open again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another idea so I'm
It's pretty popular. I mean, it happens a lot in a lot of other municipalities,
yeah.
same type of thing.
So it would reduce administrative burden too.
It would make our life easier, and one of
Agencies apply every year.
the things that we hear from agents that is challenging for them is that it's only 1-year application, and then the reality is board members score differently.
Yeah.
And like I told the agencies, because the agencies they want stability, they want the same.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't guarantee that, because this is a formulaic process, and we don't control how much you apply for. We don't control how many people apply, and I don't control how board members score. I train them, but at the end of the day, board members, this is your job. This is your prerogative, is to score those agencies. If you score somebody low, their funding's gonna go down. If you score somebody high, it's gonna, I can't control how you score, and I don't want to control how you score. We trust you all.
And I wonder if it's not so much a scoring issue, but a question issue.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it could be, but at the end of the day, those scores are what decides what people get.
Yeah.
So if the questions are wrong, we can think about that again, but at the end of the day, it's your scores that matter. This is where your voice is really heard, is through your scores. And so, yes, we can look at the questions, and if you want, we can take a look at that, but your scores are key, right? Your scores are the ones that define what agencies will receive. Yeah.
I think it does behoove the city to lean into the fact that this is an ultra competitive cycle, and it's okay that not everybody's going to get funding. And our job is to help the city determine what the highest needs are.
Right.
And that means those applicants that can demonstrate that they are helping us achieve those highest needs, they are the highest priority applicants. And those that don't get funded this year, and they learn from that. So maybe in the future, when they reapply, they shift their application to meet those needs. So the idea is that, you know, an applicant can learn from a given year and apply in the future. It doesn't mean, you know, they never get funded. It just means in this year, that application didn't meet our highest needs.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, okay. And I think the organizations that are on the ball will adapt to that strategy, and they will submit a stronger application in the future.
So yes, all of that is coming. Lots of work for this board this year. But we saw it, we've seen it coming for the last 2 years. We just can't continue as we are. We continue to dilute the pot more. Like I said, we funded 6 new agencies this year. That's a lot of money to 6 new agencies that we funded.
And how many agencies did we fund in total?
I think 59, 58, something like that.
That's a ton.
Yeah, before we used to fund about 40. So when it was at that 40, 45, we would fund folks at much higher levels than we can. We're up to close to 60. Yeah,
Were there any agencies we didn't fund?
there was 2 that didn't score high enough to be funded.
Surprising, only 2.
It's actually pretty typical.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I can go back and look, but typically 2 and 3 don't score. And we changed it to, you know, using standard deviation and average. So that also is part of it. So yeah, all the stuff to think about. Welcome to the board.
Fun stuff.
I'm looking forward to you guys. All of you all have, this whole board is full of very smart people, and looking forward to working with you to do what you said, right? To find what the highest needs are and help the city make a difference there. All right.
Any other business or announcements?
Sorry, this is quick.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a light one in January. Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, don't jinx us.
Move to adjourn.
Who makes someone adjourn? Jeffrey, second?
I'll second.
And Crystal seconds, all right. And I will email you to set up some time to talk about the chair role.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's pretty easy, you can ask him, it's not too hard.
Not too hard. I did have to take notes, so like I brought my notes every time, like, what do I say here? But I'm like,
I mean, monkey see, monkey do. I've been watching for a while.
you know what to do.
I'll just make it till I make it.
And Elliot was great.
Yeah.
He helps.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all, have a good night. How do you stop the recording?
Good night. Happy New Year.
You too, thank you.
I did have a question for you, Elliot.